Hello, IT enthusiasts. Welcome to another episode of My Computer Careers Get Into IT Live, where we do just that, get into all things IT. As always, thank you so much for joining us today, and especially thank you for joining us on your Friday. I think we have a great topic and some really fun and useful, actionable information to share with all of you today who are consistently learning or on the path to do so. Just let me say that intro music, we've done so many of these over the last year and a half, close to 2 years, that I'm starting to actually dream about it. So at some point we will switch that, I promise. But it's great to be here with everybody, and it's great to be here with a great topic. So we've done more than 75 episodes of this broadcast, and we've touched on the need for upskilling during that time for students, professionals, for businesses alike. But I'm not quite sure we devoted an entire episode to it. So I thought that this was a perfect time to do so. So before I introduced my guest, I certainly want to do so, by the way. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you.
Hey, Aaron.
If you like free stuff, and here's the tease, I might suggest hanging around till the end because we have an opportunity for a bit of free stuff for you. All right. So let me formally introduce Michelle. Michelle, it's Michelle Statham, correct, Michelle?
Yes, that's correct.
Michelle Statham. Michelle is a manager of business development of My Computer Careers' newly launched Upskill Academy, a skill builder, instructor-led platform for individuals and teams. With nearly 10 years of experience as an account manager and sales leader, Michelle is passionate about delivering high-quality products and services. She has a bachelor's degree in elementary education and teaching and a strong background in consultative sales and marketing. Over her career, she's worked with many clients, providing them with personalized solutions, timely support, and valuable insights. She's also worked with teams to develop and implement sales strategies, promotional campaigns, and product launches. Michelle has also, and she probably won't brag about it, but I will, won multiple awards for customer satisfaction and retention. So obviously, I think the perfect guest to talk about upskilling a little bit. So Michelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Aaron, thank you. That was quite the introduction.
It's right from your LinkedIn. It's redacted a little bit, but it's great. It's perfect. I love the bio. Well done. I'd hire you.
We'll have to work on that.
Why don't we jump right in? Great to see you. We all know what we're talking about. For everybody in the audience, just so a reminder, if you have a question as we advance, on upskilling or anything that we talk about, drop it. We'll do everything we can to answer that for you, of course. It's always a better conversation when we have all of your voices involved. So we will continue right now. It looks like we're running on all channels, so good to go. All right. Michelle, to kick things off, why don't, if you don't mind, tell the audience just a little bit more about your background and your current role, if there's anything that I missed.
No problem, Aaron. Thank you for having me, first of all. I'm Michelle Statham, as Aaron said. I'm currently managing business development at My Computer Careers Upskill Academy. I've been working in sales account management for nearly a decade. I primarily focus on building relationships, delivering solutions that drive real value. I actually started my career in education. I'm a former teacher, which gives me a solid foundation for understanding people's learning needs.
No doubt.
Why I love Upskill. At Upskill Academy, though, my focus is partnering with organizations and individuals so they have access to tools that they need to stay relevant, because this tech landscape is changing quickly.
No doubt. And, and I love all of your background, but the teacher background especially. I have a soft spot in my heart for teachers. My mom's a teacher. She was for 40 years. So I certainly understand it. But the reason I say that is because as a teacher, you, of course, and as someone in sales and marketing, you understand the value of of continued learning, continued education. So, definitely a perfect guest to discuss the world of upskilling. So let's just lay the groundwork for folks who might be watching with some stats to highlight kind of what's going on. And I need my glasses, certainly. 57% of surveyed employees are currently upskilling through their employer or independently. 72% of corporate learning and development focuses on upskilling and digital transformation. Another survey reports 70% of employees feel they lack the skills required to do the job. The global upskilling market is expected to reach $56 billion by 2026. That's a great big number. Michelle, what does all of that data say to you?
These numbers really highlight that upskilling is no longer just nice to have, but it's essential. With 57% of employees already upskilling and the 72% of corporate learning focused on digital transformation, it's clear both employees and employers recognize the need to stay current with all the new skills. But that 70% of employees feeling underqualified, it also speaks to the urgency. The demand is high. There's an opportunity there for organizations to meet that need by investing in some accessible, relevant upskilling opportunities. This isn't a trend. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach career growth and business success.
Yeah, and that's really well said. This is not a fad. This is not a trend. And I actually, to be fair, was a little surprised that 57% of employees are currently upskilling. You'd think, especially now with the amplified conversation, that would be even more. And to kind of dovetail on that a little bit, Michelle, with all the data we just discussed, here's a little bit more. Depending on which source you use, between 75 and 87% of companies report a skills gap in their organization. So even though it's important for businesses, they're saying that maybe up to 90% of companies report there's still a gap. So when I see that, to me, there seems to be some disparities between the need for upskilling and the implementation. So I guess my question is, with all of those words, do you agree? And if so, what do you think is driving that? And are organizations just busy with other priorities?
Yeah, Aaron, I absolutely agree. There's a huge acknowledgement of the skill gap, but I think organizations struggle with that implementation. I think that's where they get stuck. I think part of the reason is their priorities shift quickly. Fast-paced industries, business needs are changing and evolving. It's tricky to add that. And I think the other factor is cost and time. Companies are going to hesitate to invest in any sort of training if they're uncertain about their return on investment. And that's why platforms like Upskill are so valuable, because they allow for flexibility, scalability, and they're impactful training solutions that meet both the organizational goals, but also the employee developmental needs.
So that's a big reason that folks like you exist, to go into an organization and actually, explain the importance of and the advantages of working with you or anybody else. But, upskilling is important nowadays. It's not a fad, as you just said. Yeah. All right. So, I think that our audience gets it. Okay. Upskilling is important. We threw some data out there, we kind of laid the groundwork, but what we try to do here is help the professional, help the student who's going to be a professional, help the prospect out there who is working their way through this or working their way through an IT career. So, there's some understanding that there's an understanding in the importance of gaining additional skills, especially in our little world of IT. But I'm guessing not everyone out there really understands how the process works, maybe in the organization they're working for. And by that, I mean, if I'm out in my career and I want to explore some upskilling, I need more skills. I want to go do it. I'm hungry to do so. What are my options with Company X, with the company I'm working for? How might that org support me?
That's a great question. I absolutely love this question, because a lot of people want the training, but they don't even know where to start or how to do it. I'm going to say many organizations today offer a variety of support for upskilling. It can be internal training programs. It could be partnerships with external platforms like Upskill Academy. Yep. But if your company doesn't have a formal program, they may still offer something like tuition assistance, maybe access to online courses. They may even offer paid time off to pursue training. It's definitely worth checking in with your HR department or your manager, see what options are available. And honestly, if the resources aren't in place yet, you can advocate for them, showing how upskilling can directly benefit the company.
That's a great piece of advice. You can do a little research and go in hot with that. Just don't go in with the ask. But that it also, so for that again, kind of leads into this next question. For that person that hasn't, for the boss maybe who hasn't had a chance to talk to Michelle yet on the advantages of upskilling or the need for continuing education in their roles. How do I strengthen my case to that person if I want to gain some new skills, potentially, on the company's dime? That's part of the idea. I think if you're an employee, you'd rather not pay for it. But how do I strengthen that case, Michelle?
And I always say think backwards, right? You got to think, what's the result going to do for me, for my company? And if you align your request with company's goals, you can demonstrate how upskilling is going to help the team or add value to upcoming projects. That's powerful. I have an example. If you're looking to improve cybersecurity skills and you can link that to the company's need for like data protection or streamlining processes, it shows that investment's worthwhile. So prepare a proposal with specific outcomes, put a timeline to it, and then be ready to show that return on investment in terms of productivity or efficiency gains.
Excellent. Spoken like a true project manager. How to work through issues.
Get it done.
I need more of that in my life. That's very good. I like it, but I think that's, go find the direct value to the organization you're working for and work backwards. Here's why that's important. Here's how I'm going to make us better. Going with that make us attitude. It's not just about me.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I love it. Fantastic. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of platforms out there, Michelle, where you can gain more skills, from the low end on, Coursera's of the world that everybody knows about to high end platforms that maybe are a little more involved. So tell folks about Upskill Academy and why it was launched.
I'm happy to. So Upskill Academy was launched to address the exact gap in the market that we were just talking about. We wanted to create a platform that could support both individuals and teams in achieving their training goals, but in a flexible, impactful way. Upskill Academy is unique because it combines instructor-led courses with self-paced, wow. Yeah. Easy for me to say, right. Self-paced path. Our focus on IT, cybersecurity, soft skills, those are so valuable right now. And the demand is there in every sector, not just in IT. So,
you mentioned that the platform, this platform in particular, is tailored to both individuals and teams. Why is that important to our audience? What are the advantages of both of those offerings?
Well, it's essential. Yeah, you have to serve both teams and individuals because learning needs vary. Here comes the teacher in me. Some people benefit from more of a team-based learning approach. They can collaborate, they can apply skills together, while others need that self-paced option that fits into their schedule specifically. By offering both, Upskill Academy provides that flexibility, ensures that learning can happen at every level in an organization. It's driving collective improvement without compromising individual learning styles. It's very unique. Yeah. This approach also allows companies to see a quicker, more cohesive result as their team advances together.
And you are suggesting that businesses use, this is a B2B play. Businesses should be using Upskill Academy for their teams, for their corporate environment, or for their organizations to meet any pain points and to continue upskilling. But then also for that individual out there that we just mentioned who wants to go gain more skills, there's, obviously there are resources and this is designed for them as well. So because go ahead, please. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Well, I was going to say, some of the IT departments that I work with are tiny. They may only have one or two people, and their certification paths are very different, and they should be. They need to be. So it's more of an individual approach when I'm working with smaller companies like that. But in some other organizations that are quite large, you're going to have a group of people that all need to go through the same things. And it's nice to put them all in one group so that they can learn at the same pace, come out on the other end, all upskilled together so that no one's left behind.
Very well said. For you businesses out there that are watching, hit up Michelle. We'll help you out. All right.
Okay.
You mentioned, our short courses are focusing. This is what you mentioned on IT cybersecurity. Those, what's that look like? They vary in length from, what do I expect if I jump in and start taking a course?
We have several options to work with organizations while balancing employees' work schedules. We offer live online instruction or in-person instruction with flexible scheduling options. We also have a learning platform that allows employees to access not only IT and cybersecurity content, but thousands of other topics. And those topics are all personalized paths. So you can go from one training to the next, and it all applies to each other. And it helps you with your own personal role. It's not generalized. It's really specialized, and it's a personalized learning path. It's fantastic.
And that's important. Of course, that's important. And, so a lot of thought, a lot of deliberation, a lot of planning went into creating what is essentially what is My Computer Career's first B2B offering out in the marketplace. So this one's important. So, obviously, if you're in the market, go check it out. Patricia has shared the link to the Upskill Academy in the chat. So jump in, take a look around, see what you think at the very least. So, I think I hope we've highlighted why upskilling is so important. I think we covered most of it, but what did I miss? Or is there something that I didn't ask correctly, or is there something else that you'd like to share with our folks, Michelle?
That's a great question. I think upskilling is about future-proofing your team, giving them the tools to thrive in today's tech-driven world. It's not the same world as 20 years ago. Upskill Academy was built to make that journey as smooth and as impactful as possible. We offer courses, again, that not only cover the latest skills in IT, but also engage professionals with real-world hands-on experiences. So if you're curious to learn more, head over to the website, reach out to me directly. I'd love to explore how we can bring this level of training to your organization. I like to call it making your team cybersational.
Nice. I could might steal that.
You should.
Yeah, good. Okay, so Michelle's obviously on LinkedIn, by the way, everybody. So as you all are as well, especially if you have come through My Computer Career, you know how important that LinkedIn page is. All right, so Michelle, you and I were lucky enough about a month ago now to head over to Columbus, Ohio, which is just south of where you are right now.
Yeah.
East. And we were lucky enough to attend an event by our friends at Logically called LogicOn, where we were lucky enough to present a boot camp. It was a 3-hour boot camp centered around cyber resilience for professionals that attended the event. It was energetic. There was a lot going on. It was really fun. We documented it. You see it kind of all over our social pages. So that leads us to free stuff. Why don't you share what you are offering in a couple of weeks for our cyber pros out in the audience?
Yeah, Aaron, you nailed it. That event was incredibly successful. LogicOn was the energy, the whole week being there with all the IT professionals, and so much pouring into so many people with training. Logically really gets it. And I loved working with them and being a part of that. That was fantastic. The boot camp that Aaron was talking about, it was so well received that Logically asked that we partner and offer it virtually. And of course, our instructors couldn't wait to hop back online and do this again. So we are offering a powerful, free 3-hour cyber resilience boot camp for IT pros. You don't want to miss it. It's, again, thanks to our partnership with CompTIA and Logically, this in-depth session is going to equip you with essential strategies to strengthen your organization's cybersecurity framework. You're going to dive into resilience foundations. You're going to uncover advanced tactics, participate in hands-on exercises, which is a little unusual for live online, but there's hands-on exercises that are designed specifically to build lasting practical skills. Some topics include everything from identifying vulnerabilities to mastering response strategies. And Aaron, spots are limited.
Yeah.
You have to register now. They're really filling up fast too. I'm not just saying that.
I can tell you from firsthand experience that that is a very interactive session. It's 3 hours of labs, of ongoing interaction, of Q&A. Our instructors really do a great job of making sure that folks feel like they're involved in the conversation. So it's 3 hours, it's free, and you really will take away, you really will take away some, I think, actionable knowledge. Patricia has shared the register link. So
good.
if you're so inclined, go check it out. Again, I think it'd be a great one to at least sign up for. I recommend, as does Michelle, that you attend. I believe we also have a follow-up planned at some point, but I would jump on the 20th because I think it's going to be a great one.
Absolutely.
All right. Covered a lot. It's not cold in Cleveland yet, right?
It's beautiful here.
Look at that,
It's like
guys.
sunny and gorgeous.
Yeah, positivity. Cleveland, Ohio is warm. Okay, this is
It's
good.
unusually warm though, Aaron. I mean, we'd had snow for Halloween in the past. I remember wearing a snowsuit when I was a kid with a Halloween costume over top of it. And this year it was like 70 degrees, 75 degrees.
As an Ohio kid myself, Michelle, I completely understand all of that. Now, I'm not from Cleveland, and I know it's a whole different world when it comes to snow, but I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, so things are going well in your world. I really appreciate you joining us. Things are going well in the world of Upskill Academy. The upskilling marketplace is on fire right now.
It sure is.
So I guess the message for everybody is just keep learning. We harp on it a lot. Just keep learning, whether it's with us or with somebody else. Go find opportunities to get better, because that's only going to make you a stronger professional out in the IT industry. So, as always, we certainly appreciate everybody joining us. Michelle, I appreciate the knowledge. I appreciate everything that you shared with us. We'll certainly have you back on to tell us how things are going in your world, not just at Upskill Academy, but in the world of upskilling. But definitely have appreciated the conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Aaron. I'd love to come back.
Anytime. Anytime. All right. I don't think we missed a whole bunch. We, as you know, are here next week, next Friday. We are going to discuss student and grad success. So we'll have somebody that's out working in IT that's going to give us some advice on how to manage the My Computer career schedule and what the IT industry looks like, and their advice for your career and how to navigate your career. So those are always our favorite discussions. Really looking forward to it. So we'll see you here on Friday, same time, same place. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and looking forward to catching you all next week. Michelle, I think that's about it. If you don't mind hanging around after we end things, I'd appreciate it. All right.
Sure thing.
Thanks
again, everyone.
Have a great weekend.